In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things I wish I knew before I started my online coaching, consulting business. And my really goal for this video for you, and my intention is, if you manage to avoid at least even one of these issues, mistakes, problems, whatever you want to call it, it can really save you months or even years of time and precious energy and even money. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Nazim and I'm the marketing guy. And as a lot of you know, in the last 7 years that I've been in this coaching, consultant, online business industry, I've helped our clients generate over $30 million in sales, and have made a bit of that for myself. And in that period of growing a couple of businesses, being consultant to hundreds of businesses myself, I've actually had a lot of ups and downs. I've gone through a few pretty rough burnouts. So here are the 5 things that I learned that will hopefully help you avoid these situations and scenarios. So without any further ado, let's just dive right in. So mistake number 1 is to never be shy to charge enough for your services, but then work like hell to deliver amazing client results. So basically, and the reason I'm mentioning these two basically factors or things.
Scissors cuts paper, paper covers rock, rock crushes lizard, lizard poisons Spock, Spock smashes scissors, scissors decapitates lizard, lizard eats paper, paper disproves Spock, Spock vaporizes rock, and as it always has, rock crushes scissors.
In one sentence is because people actually break into 2 camps. It's usually it's either charging way too less for their services and then working like too much on client delivery, right? Instead of actually focusing on also growing their businesses and automating their client delivery in as much as possible, and doing all of that, right? And the second camp is guys and gals who are really good at marketing. They charge a lot for their services, but they don't do delivery for shit, right? So really, your goal is to be in the golden middle, and I'll actually talk about the golden middle quite a lot and quite extensively in this video, because as you're about to find out in business, just like in your personal life, everything is about having the golden middle. So really, your goal needs to be to charge enough for your services, because if you don't charge enough for your services, there's nothing, guys. If you don't charge enough for your services, then you will not enough make money, and it will discourage you from continuing down the path of entrepreneurship. It will also not let you to hire employees and hire for things that will help you automate your business more, so you can work with more clients, serve more people, and quite honestly make more money. Okay, like I think actually a lot of times it comes down to making more money, right? At least to me, I'm not going to be too shy to say that. And obviously it always needs to be done in the most ethical way possible, but none of this is going to be possible unless you charge enough for your services. And obviously also on the flip side, once you start charging for your services, do not be a d-bag and actually work like hell, especially if it's just you don't have any support, you don't have any employees. A lot of times you will have to do most or bulk of the work yourself. So really, and also, like, when you're starting out, reputation is really everything. This is how I got started. I got started as a freelancer, as an ads freelancer, and I started working first with smaller businesses, then mid-sized businesses, and then really big businesses. And then I was working only with big businesses because I had a very solid reputation in the industry, because I worked really day and night to prove myself, to really deliver amazing services for clients, and I still have that reputation. And to be honest with you, in my consulting business, I've mostly been working from the word of mouth. So basically, yes, charge enough for your services, but also deliver like hell, make it a priority, because it's just being a generally good person, and but also knowing your value. So thing number 2, I wish I knew how to do better, is client management. And usually, again, it's two bipolar opposites. It's either you're too nice or you're too rugged. And quite honestly, at times I found myself on both sides of this polarity, but mostly it's been too nice and not really frame controlling my relationship with clients. And usually it would start with a missed meeting or something being rescheduled or just like a joke that I didn't really appreciate on client's part, and then it would be, and because I would avoid conflict, because that's a client and I'm a delivery person or whatever, especially in the first year or two of business, it would then grow out to a problem, right? Like I would really resent working with that client, and then actually somehow turn out to be, if not passive aggressive or aggressive, but generally spending less time with the client, still delivering, but not really communicating as much. So, but had I actually known how to be radically honest, great book, by the way, by, what's his name? Let me have a look. By Brad Planton, that I read and really cleared out a lot of things for me. Had I read that book, had I known how to communicate with clients properly, had I known how to set boundaries, be fair, and this is really what it comes down to, guys, being fair, but also pushing your clients in at times when they really need to, right? Because really your biggest goal and your biggest commitment to a client is not being nice to them, right? Your biggest commitment is that they do the things that you think they should do to achieve results. And sometimes you will need to be a little bit on their butts, right? Kind of like keeping them accountable, grilling, like holding their feet to the fire and really telling them, hey, like, you promised me to deliver this thing, why didn't you? Like, let me help you, let's work on this together. But basically, yes, proper client management, client framing, to be honest with, not even with clients, like generally in life, knowing how to set boundaries, being fair, but also not letting pass those boundaries, those lines of boundaries of yours is a very important skill. And it will really, to be honest with you, again, like actually once now that I've learned this skill over the last couple of years, it's improved my generally personal life dramatically, not just business life. And guys, again, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I give not just videos like this where it's mostly things, mindset things or whatever, but I also go down the rabbit hole of different marketing systems, marketing KPIs. And again, if you run an online business, it's probably one of the more sophisticated channels where I try to keep my videos very comprehensive and not just on the surface level. So again, if you enjoy my content, click on the like button, subscribe, leave comments with any further video ideas, and maybe also follow me on Instagram and join our free Facebook group for online businesses who would like to improve their marketing and sales. So yes, let's move on to reason number 3. And thing number 3 is kind of tied to thing number 2. And thing number 3 is, no matter how hard you try, there'll still be sometimes people who give up on their own dreams, who are poor communicators themselves, who will give up on themselves, and who am I kidding, are quite blatantly and honestly complete assholes. So if that happens, again, per my experiences, I would sometimes blame myself too much, or I would take on too much responsibility. It's the part of not having boundaries and all that. But again, I just want to, there's not much to this really, other than me warning you that sometimes there'll be rude people, there'll be not so pleasant personalities that you'll get to work with, and in those instances, 2 bits of advice I can give you that will help you is, number 1, always never burn bridges, right? Always conduct yourself nobly. And to be honest with you, I haven't been perfect with it. I have burned a few bridges along the road. It's just a part of learning and growing, and I'm learning still, but try to not burn bridges, because you'll probably regret it down the line. So that's number 1. And number 2, over time really heals all. Over time, you will understand. To be honest with you, it's most of the time both of you, not just you, but both of you. But it's fine. It's fine. You live, you learn, you move on, and as long as you keep being retrospective about your mistakes, you'll do just fine. Okay, so now let's get into more technical mistakes or things I wish I knew how to do better, because the other three were kind of like about your attitude, right? About the mindset of running a business. But the technical thing, number 4, is going to be watching over your cash flow as a hawk. Okay, like really having a super tight grip on your cash flow, because I've seen a lot of first of all small businesses just go bust, but also big businesses. And you know the saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Oh boy, yes. I've literally seen people, millionaires, produce revenue and cash like crazy month in and month out, and they basically burn like a candle, or not even a candle, like a match, right? Within 3-4 months, maybe tops half a year, because somehow the funnel went haywire, but also they weren't smart, or they didn't have this habit of watching over their cash flow, and basically they would just run through their cash reserves in a matter of a couple of months, right? Because it's easy and you're happy when you're generating or stashing away like 200, 300, 400k per month. But when things stop working, and when you don't have tight grip over your finances, you just keep throwing more and more and more money on what doesn't work, and because you're not tracking, you kind of like you kind of like get lost in the weeds, right? And that's it. You go bust. Your business goes bust. So my recommendation to you is to personally go over your profit and loss statements every month. Even better every 2 weeks, but if not every 2 weeks, every month. I do every month personally, right? Not your accountant, no one, right? You personally go over every transaction statement. You can ask your accountant to maybe properly put it in a nice file in a way that you can understand, right? So they just download your bank account statements, and they basically lay it all out on an Excel sheet, all pretty and nice, so you can basically look at it conveniently, comfortably. But you need to personally go over every statement yourself, which is not going to take much, right? But I guarantee you it'll maybe take like 2-3 hours, right? Ideally, you want to dedicate take 1 day in a month to dedicate that one half of that day to your finances, right? So you start early in the morning, by lunch you're done, and I guarantee you every month 5 to 10% of your expenses you will realize that it was a waste. But most importantly, when things start going really haywire, because you will have this habit of going over your finances, it will really, really help you to stay on track and not overspend. So that's thing number 4. I've had 2 years in the 7-8 years I've been in business that have been really bad. And funny enough, one of those years when I went the most negative was also the year when I had the most revenue, right? Which is kind of crazy to think, but it works like that if you don't have a grip on your expenses. So live and learn. Moving on to thing number 5. And principle number 5 you need to keep in mind is to make sure that over time your company doesn't just end up being a one product company. And when you're starting out, it's fine. Actually, it's probably what's needed, right? You're just getting started in business, and you need to you need to have a proof of concept. You're focusing on really mastering this one thing. You're teaching over and over, and once people start getting amazing results, and once you really also dip your feet in the water, like you really know what's happening, like what the industry needs, you need to actually pull off those blinders of like really only being committed to this one thing. Because especially it actually gets easier over time to just say, yeah, I'm just going to be focused, right? Focus is a great thing, right? Like a successful man is a man focused, right? I'm just going to do this thing, but not really, because at some point to especially scale, right? Of course you can just keep being focused, but if you want to scale and you just keep being focused, it's not going to work. It's actually going to bring you more burnout and inconsistency. So you'll have to pull your blinders off and look at the big picture. And one of the bigger things you need to do with that is really to look at the marketplace and look at different, and realize that at any given time there are different levels of client sophistication and different groups and baskets of clients with different buying abilities. And yes, although in the beginning you don't want to, like, basically if you don't want to undercharge for your services, right? If your product is $5,000, you really want to sell it at $5,000. Over time, you also want to, you will most likely see that quite a few people can't afford $5,000 thing. So it's really smart to also come up with a $2,000 thing, right? So you still end up establishing and starting a relationship with that person, right? And you also get some money out of them, right? And then a fraction of them over time gets upsold in the $5,000 thing because they like the $2,000 thing so much, and it's already helped them to generate some money. And from that $5,000 thing, a fraction of them gets upsold into the year-long thing. So basically, you need to start diversifying and laying your eggs in multiple baskets. So, and that's the thing number 5. I wish I knew, but to be honest with you, I was, if there was one thing that I feel like I've done right fairly fast, it was this thing. I really, especially with my clients, this is like my key sort of like move, right? Like my combo move, like those fighters in computer games, like it's their signature move, right? It's always been my signature move, coming into clients' businesses and really opening them eyes to the fact that, hey, look, you don't have just one avatar. It's one of the bigger things that internet marketers teach you, right? Just have one avatar. Not really. You start with one avatar, but then you realize that you have all other avatars that you can also monetize, especially if you want to scale. So yeah, guys, that's it. These are 5 things I wish I knew before I started my online business. If any of these resonated with you, please, or if you found any of these specifically helpful, please just drop a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever that number is, in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, and check out further videos on my YouTube channel if you'd like more value. And you can always visit our websites to book sales calls without clients, conversionacademy.com, link in the description section down below, and join our free Facebook community, also link in the description down below. So again, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Talk soon.